Well, good morning, everybody. So, I had a welding job to do this morning, so I woke up and I was heading towards my storage unit where I have the trailer with the welding equipment. Well, I was at a stoplight and the light turned green and I hit the gas, started to go, and all of a sudden the van just went whoop, whoop, and the check engine light came on and service light and all this craziness just went haywire. So I was able to pull over to the side of the road and I killed the engine right away because the engine went into like a limp mode. I waited a few seconds, started back up, and I was able to drive it off the side of the road. So now I'm here in this parking lot and I gotta plug this thing in and see what is going on. To the ODB reader, I have an issue with my throttle body. So this is a new one for me. I haven't dealt with this, but if I just need to replace the throttle body, that actually won't be too bad. I don't want to jinx it, but that won't be too bad because on this particular vehicle, it's actually not that complicated to get to. So I think I'm gonna sit back, watch some YouTube videos on this, punch in, do a little research, punch in that code and see what I could find online, and see if this is something I could just do on the side of the road, or if I need to limp it to an AutoZone, or if I need to have it towed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research on this. Well, I just did some research and it may be my throttle body. It looks like it's possible that all I need to do is replace the throttle body, and then I'm good to go. There is a Advanced Auto just right down the street here. It's maybe about a 3-minute walk. I don't know, something like that. It's right here, thank God. So I'm going to give them a call and see if they have a throttle body for this vehicle in stock. If so, then I think I'll pull the other one out, go over there, get the new one, and see if I can get back on the road. So I called Ford. There's a Ford right down the street here too, not too far. They don't have it. The Advanced Auto, they don't have it, but they can get it either later on today or first thing in the morning. Ideally, I like to get it like now, but later on today is not the end of the world. I called around a couple different places. There's Napco. I'm sorry, not Napco. Napo, is that what they're called? And then there was a O'Reilly's right over here, a couple miles down the road. They didn't have it. Nobody seems to have this throttle body. Advanced right here are able to get it later on. So I think what I'm going to do is take the old one out and just chill here for the day. I mean, I am at home, so it doesn't really matter. And then hopefully they have it later on today and get back on the road later on today. So that's the throttle body right there. This is the piece, this is the part that I need. And I can either get this tomorrow morning or hopefully today. We'll see. Okay, great news. They got it today. So I'm gonna take a walk over to this Advanced Auto. It's just right down the way here. I'm gonna get the new throttle body, get it in there, and see if I can get back on the road today. That would be awesome. That's new. Let's check it out. That looks identical to the one I pulled out. Let's get this new one in. Okay, the new throttle body is in. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna start the engine and, oh wait, you know what? Okay, so when I did my research, when you clean the throttle body or replace it or unplug it or do any of that, what you have to do is a relearning process. The PCM, right now, it needs to relearn the new throttle body. So it's because the butterfly on the throttle body is closed more than when you put a new one in. So what happens is over time, gunk and junk and I think carbon or whatever builds up in the throttle body. And what happens is the PCM over time, the idle, it's open a little bit more over time, compensating for the carbon buildup or whatever builds up. And so when you clean it, what's going to happen is the PCM thinks that it's an older one with carbon buildup, so it's open more. So when you go to start your engine, what happens is your idle all of a sudden is super high. Well, that's because you didn't, relearn the new, you didn't like start it over, so to speak. So I did a very similar thing on my Chevy Silverado back in like 2016 or 17. I was doing some maintenance and I saw that my throttle body was dirty. And I was cleaning a lot of carburetors at the time. So I looked at that and figured, hey, why not clean it since I'm there? And that's exactly what happened. My engine all of a sudden went as I was driving. Well, that's because it was open more. You cleared it like. So I had to do the same process and relearn it when you cleaned it. So that's how I know that. So what I'm going to do on this vehicle, what you do is you disconnect the negative side of the battery, right? And then you take a little jumper and you connect it to the hot over to the, not the terminal on the battery, but the terminal, the wire on the van. And you just connect the two and let it sit there for like a few minutes. And what that does is it drains the capacitors of all the memory and basically starts it over. So I'm going to go ahead and do that process real quick. And then I'm going to start the vehicle and let it run for about good 15 minutes and let the PCM relearn the new throttle body. So here we go. Seems to be running just fine. Okay, so the engine seems to be running just fine at an idle. I just let it ran for about 15 minutes, so I'm pretty sure at that point the PCM has relearned the new throttle body. So I'm not out of the woods yet. I gotta drive this thing around. What was happening is it was idling just fine, but when I started to go, all of a sudden I'd lack power and it would just go into a limp mode. So I am going to drive this thing right now and see what happens. I can't do a check engine light reset. I attempted to do it. The way you do it is you hold the pedal and the brake pad or brake pedal at the same time. Then you turn the key without starting it, and then it does what that does on these vehicles, it's actually an oil reset, but it resets it clears codes as well. So that works on soft codes. Unfortunately, it's not going to work on this because it's a more severe situation, and those are permanent codes. So I'm going to have to take this thing to Ford. I just got off the phone with them, and they said, bring it in, we'll clear the code for you. So I got to go in and have them do that. He's a friendly dog, but he loves to bark at everyone. Well, how about that? That took maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds. That's awesome. They didn't charge me for anything, so that's cool. But I was just talking to the guy, and what I did with the pedals, that's a soft reset, so that doesn't really work for permanent check engine lights. There's like, I don't really understand it, so I'm not going to try to explain something I don't understand. But yeah, so anyways, that's all done. I'm going to drive around a little bit and make sure it doesn't come back on. So yeah. Just checking out these other vans. Hey, Chevy Express at a Ford dealer? 40 Econoliner. Oh wow, that thing looks beautiful. That was my first van pretty much. There's another Transit 250 just like mine. How about we upgrade to that? Hell yeah. You know, I've thought about, you know, what's my next build gonna be? I mean, I've had this van for a couple of years now. I'm at 140,000 miles. So what's my next van gonna be? I think I'm gonna hold off, try to live in this van as long as I can. And then one day, maybe, I don't know, upgrade to something like that. I think that's more of a service truck. A small box truck I can see, like even something like that, you know? If you're gonna do that, you gotta have a side door. That's one thing I notice about these small box trucks. A lot of them don't have side doors. You gotta have a side door. These would be sweet though. Oh, like that one. That one's got a side door. That one would be perfect. See this one. That one's got, oh, they probably all have side doors. Yeah, you know, building out a small box truck, I would think, would be pretty simple because, I mean, it's not simple, but a lot easier than a van because it's all corners, 90-degree corners, where the van has just challenges everywhere. So, all right, let's cruise around, see if this check engine light comes back on. I was gonna go grab the trailer, hook it up, and you know, get ready for the welding job tomorrow. But you know, I think I'm going to just call this home for the night, hook it up in the morning, and yeah. So it was a failure today because I didn't get the job done. That's because this thing broke down on me. But I succeeded because I was able to get back on the road within 12 hours. So thank God it was just the throttle body. That's awesome. It was a super easy fix. It wasn't too complicated. It could have been worse, but yeah, I lucked out. So it's always good to have the proper tools, an OBD reader, you know, and just some basic knowledge on these things, and you could get yourself out of a pinch. This would have cost God knows what. I would have had to get this thing towed to a mechanic. He wouldn't have gotten to it for a day, 2 days, a week. You never know. So it's great that I was able to get this thing back on the road today. So yeah, tomorrow welding job. Right now I think I'm gonna go into Jewel, get myself a steak, call this home for the night, and yeah, thanks for riding along. If you made it this far, you're the weirdo, not me. That's gonna be my new thing. I'm gonna say that every time. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, keep it simple, and keep it real. I'll see you on the next one.